So this here is a sideline hip car. This is a great drill to be utilizing for addressing the rotational aspects of what our hips are capable of doing and exploring some ranges of motion from a sideline position. I prefer to have a kettlebell in front of me. It's not necessary, but it will help me be a little more honest with the movement as I start to brace into it and try to lock down my core as I move my hip through these rotational movements. So I'll show it on my side here. So once I have the kettlebell in a good spot, if I don't have one, not a big deal. I just need to remember that I'm trying my best to not move through my spine and just move through this top hip right here. So I'll start in a position where my foot is on the ground, my knee is slightly elevated. I will lift it up and start opening my hips up towards the ceiling and drop my knee down towards the ground as my foot goes up towards the sky, which gets me into internal rotation. And then I start to go through extension where my hip is now going behind me and I can feel the backside of my glute and my hamstring engage a little bit, and drop my leg down slightly and then return back in the same position I just came. So knee down, foot up, then knee up, foot down towards the ground. So when I hold this here, now I can really brace into the movement, tighten my core, and I'll lift, nice and slow and methodical, knee down towards the ground, foot up towards the ceiling. I'm getting a lot of sensation right through here on the top part of my hip. And now I'm back through extension, reversing, knee down, rotating through the hip socket and back. Just so you can see what it looks like from a different angle, I'm going to try my best to not utilize my spine to make this work. This is a very common mistake that people will make with the hip car, is using too much of their pelvis, of hiking it up towards their shoulder or hyperextending their lower back as their leg goes behind them. It's okay for your leg to not make it all the way behind you because we're trying to move within the ranges of motion that we're capable of. So with my other leg, pay attention to what's happening down here through my back. So I'll start in the starting position. I go and I lift. As I'm dropping through internal rotation, I'm more limited on this side, so I need to get lower through my leg. Foot up towards the ceiling, core is braced, and then I tighten that glute and that hamstring up right about there. That's the furthest I can go. So once I go past this, you'll see the arch of my back start to come into play. So we're trying to prevent that. When my core is engaged, that's the furthest I can go. So then I drop back up and over, breathing, and coming back down. This is a drill that we can use continuous tension with. So usually we're preferring to do this for about 1 minute to 2 minutes on each side.